Let's have a look at this Everis laptop. Some funny off-brand laptop. It's so different that its charger in is 12 volts, not the normal 19 that most things run. A little panel here, maybe that's for a memory card, maybe. I believe it's quite a cheap model. 4 gig RAM, 64 gig storage, and a AMD A4 processor. So if we take our 12 volt source and plug it in, no lights indicating charge, no power on either. So let's crack it open and see if we can deal with it. What are the odds that all the screws are the same? I'd like to take this moment to rant about Chromebooks. It doesn't seem to matter. From what I've seen, it doesn't matter what model. If you damage the USB-C port, and they're all USB-C, they're all USB-C charge, they don't have a separate charger. And if you damage the USB-C port, no, there are shorter screws along the front there, let's not forget that. Yeah, if you damage a USB socket and then plug your charger in, or if it gets damaged, say while it's charging and jumps 20 odd volts up through where it shouldn't go. Oh, okay. You can put looks like an M.2 slot, maybe. But yeah, if you break your USB port, 90% of these Chromebooks that I've seen have destroyed the security chip. They've got this little security chip in them, and once that's dead, it's my understanding that the thing will never work again. Yeah, it seems to be almost guaranteed that your security chip will be destroyed as a result of the USB socket getting munched up, which is a shame because it seems to be the main failure point is people destroying the USB socket. And it doesn't seem to matter what make of Chromebook it is either, they all seem to somehow tie in with that chip. Is there a screw under there? It's very well clipped together. There it goes. Just got to be a little more brutal with it. Let's have a peek down in there, make sure there's nothing coming off with it. Just very tightly clipped. Very tightly clipped. Certainly nothing special looking. We've got one tiny little motherboard up in here. It's unplugged because there's a battery, and that flex, and whatever's hiding under that bit of tape. We have our Wi-Fi antennas, and there's an audio connector perhaps. Oh, how many screws have we got on the motherboard? 4 screws going to do it. Oh, there's another screw. Now it'll fall out. And trackpad. Let's see if we can peel off this copper heatsink. Let's just check on the inductors, any shorts. So 13 ohms is okay, it's not too low, it'd be a CPU line. There's 40 ohms, that's alright. Nothing over there. Nothing on that one over there. So yeah, everything's looking good. So maybe it is just an input socket issue. Well, let's just prove that. We'll go voltage and plug it in, and let's see if we have Oh, you're joking. I've got a red light and a green light. What? Why didn't I do that before? Do we just have a dead battery that's loading it all down? Oh, okay. Let's plug in the battery again and test. Or maybe we've got a shorted trackpad or something that's holding it down. Oh, I've got a red light still. Red light. That's funny. Was it just locked up in some hung processor state? Does it just need the battery pulling to reset it? Is the battery charging? Okay, we're at 8.17. Is it going to go up? Yeah, 8.18. 8.18, 8.19. It is charging. At least partially reassemble and just see if it comes on. Okay, everything's reconnected. Let's plug in. We have red light. Maybe I just didn't look very hard. Maybe that red light was always there. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Okay, let's see if it'll turn on. Pushing power button. We have green light on the power light. Do we have a screen? No image. Oh, it just turned off. Was that because there's no hard drive? Is there actually supposed to be an M.2 in there? We're still charging. It's just turned off. I thought these cheapies actually had an onboard system. Maybe it shut down because it got too hot. Let me just poke this heatsink back on. Okay, with heatsink attached, it's on for longer. It hasn't turned off, but we still have nothing on screen. Will it acknowledge the power button? I might have to hold it down. Most laptops show something if they don't have an SSD. Yeah, it turned off. Let me double check I've got the... Whoa, it's hot. Woo! Wow, that's hot. Okay. That's excessively hot. That's not good. The processor should not be that hot. Okay, what's going on there then? There's no way that that would survive and with the cover on it and no airflow. Well, it's been charging for quite some time. I'd say it should have enough to run off the battery if it can. I'm just curious to see if it gets as hot. So, we get a green light when I turn it on. We do. And then how does this take off? Just monitor that temperature. But it is getting pretty hot. I just had an idea. I'll get a thermal camera and we'll just whip it on without the heatsink attached and just see what is getting hot in case it's not the processor and it's something under it, like a capacitor starting to short and give off a lot of heat. Oh, there's a bit of warmth happening over at the battery connector onto the right here. You can see the charge is obviously charging, so now I will push the power button again and see what happens. Whoa, look at that CPU spot. Woo! Okay, that's shot. Well, I think that's fairly cut and dry. Our CPU has shot. What we can do though is I'll just see what voltage is on the CPU. Okay, let's probe on that cap. 0.8 of a volt. 0.9 of a volt. Ow! She's a dead CPU. I'm surprised that the power rails can source that much current. Actually, it's not shutting down as a result. It's just on the verge of being a shorted CPU. Well, thanks for watching a no fix.